Now, I want you to dive into the secret weapon that is really going to empower you to bend time as you know it, and even reinvent your reality, the pineal gland. See that little grayish, reddish gland within the human brain? Well, as I've touched upon before in other levels, it literally has the power to enable you to break out of this reality and achieve superhuman feats within any aspects of your life. Your body, career, health, or relationships. It doesn't matter because it's so powerful. If you want more wealth, you can use the pineal gland to do it. If you want a better relationship, you can use the pineal gland to do it. Now, I'm going to get into just a little bit more detail here. Rene Descartes was onto the pineal gland and called it the principal seat of the soul and believed that it was the point of connection between the intellect and the body. This is most likely the key to tapping into your higher self and the universe. There are some rather fascinating overlapping facts that surround this little gland. As it turns out, the pineal gland appears in the human embryo at 49 days of gestation. And 49 days is also the time that the Tibetans believe it takes for one's soul to reincarnate onto the next. An embryo's differentiation into male and female also occurs at the 49-day mark. Now, that's some seriously interesting similarities right there, right? Most importantly, the pineal gland is the part of your brain that allows you to connect to a higher state of consciousness. It does this through the production and secretion of a compound called dimethyltryptamine, or DMT for short. DMT is like a chemical cousin of serotonin and a profound hallucinogen. There are a few ways that your pineal gland is triggered to secrete DMT. One of these is when it's under extreme duress or stress. Although it's usually well guarded from stress, you can stress it out. And one of the most stressful times we can experience is death, or a near-death experience. When someone is close to death, the last thing they are aware of is this huge release of DMT in their body. A release of DMT can lead to experiences separation between your body and your consciousness, basically an out-of-body experience, and act as a catalyst for near-death experiences. In essence, DMT induces the machinery of the afterlife to literally spring into motion. Dr. Rich Strassman, who studied the effects of DMT for over 20 years, refers to DMT as the God molecule, or the spirit molecule, as a result of his test subjects claiming they had been in contact with non-human or godlike beings under the compound's influence. The hallucinogenic state that DMT triggers, that is basically what happens when you're dreaming, is a temporary disconnection from the physical body that allows you to traverse higher realms. In this state, you're no longer bound by restrictions of time or conventional laws of physics. Professor Alan Watts, a philosopher and expert in comparative religion, described the effects of DMT as load universe into cannon, aim at brain, fire. Your pineal gland acts as a virtual door or portal to directly connect you to the universe and cosmic consciousness. While in this state, your spirit can then use this gateway to connect with the universe and create what you want, or make something a reality. You know, when I was younger, I used to always think about death. I don't know why. When I was younger, I used to actually pray to God to kill me. I grew up in a very negative household. I was abused, and as a young child, I felt unloved, and I still remember to this day that I used to pray for myself to die, and I used to picture myself as like a skeleton and like all these really radical images in my mind. And I feel like that led me to gain wisdom from the other side because I felt like I was so close to death. And I didn't realize this till I was a little bit older, but I felt like I was downloading information about life that others don't see. I used to be able to do things that most people couldn't. I felt as though I had some kind of power within me because I was able to do this. And all I wanted to do was just die. It was the scariest thing ever. And thinking back upon it, I realized it was all for a reason. And I've downloaded so much information. Everything that I've put together in this course is based upon that kind of information that I've received from the other side. I've also been very deep into meditations, where I've quite literally downloaded information and just started writing pages and pages of stuff that I've never even studied before. In fact, a lot of the posts that I post on Facebook are from the pages of content that I'm talking about here. I used to sometimes just get out of meditations and get out of these deeply entranced states, and I'd just start whiteboarding all this stuff that I've never ever studied before in my life. That is when you're downloading information within yourself. Think about that example from The Matrix, right? Where she needed to learn how to fly a helicopter, and she downloaded this information from the software, and she instantly knew how to fly a helicopter, right? Trinity. Well, it's the same exact way on how you can download this information from the universe. Anyone can do it, and through deep meditation and through deep exercise, focusing on the pineal gland and doing a lot of the death meditations that we've talked about, and really tapping into letting go of your ego and just letting it flow through you, you too can be able to download information from the universe. Practicing vairagya is very important. Later on this level, I'm also going to cover a reverse meditation where you're actually going to pull light through your head and into your body. Now, the combination of vairagya and that exercise through some of the breathing techniques that I'm sharing with you will allow you to tap into this information. It takes practice. Some will be quicker than others. Some will be longer than others. Again, don't worry about time. Just practice and it will come to you. When your pineal gland is activated, it transmits a glow of light energy. There's even a mention of the pineal gland in the Bible. In Matthew 6:22, it says, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." Think about that for a second. If that eye is full of light, then your whole body shall be full of light. So how do you keep your body full of light and your pineal gland in tip-top shape to continue to connect to higher consciousness and project your new reality? Well, I touched on this briefly in level 3. However, it's not unusual due to a less than optimal diet, bad sleep habits, and lack of exercise that your pineal gland may become atrophied, calcified, and not running on all cylinders, so to speak. This breakdown of your pineal gland can happen a handful of ways. 1. Regularly consuming heavily refined or processed foods and carbonated drinks. 2. Exposing yourself to the toxic chemical fluoride in your water and toothpaste. 3. Even a lack of natural sunlight can be to blame. And these are just a few. The good news is, all is not lost. Here are a few integral things you can do to activate and awaken your pineal gland. Get more direct sunlight. Eliminate processed and refined foods from your diet and decrease your refined sugar intake. Increase your intake of fresh organic fruits and vegetables and alkaline foods like nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Eating raw cacao or even dark chocolate helps. Using fluoride-free toothpaste and drinking non-fluoridated water. Reduce stress, obviously. Adrenaline and cortisol deplete the melatonin and serotonin, the cousins of DMT, within your body. Also, you want to get more sleep, and not just regular sleep. You want to get sleep in darkness. You will produce more melatonin sleeping in complete darkness. Melatonin, in turn, awakens your pineal gland. Lastly, and more importantly, exercise your pineal gland. Yes, I said exercise it. Just like your body and your brain, your pineal gland also needs to be worked out, so to speak. The exercise I'm talking about is both physical and mental. Physical exercise like practicing yoga, particularly inversions when you are upside down, are particularly helpful because they increase blood flow to your pineal gland. However, beyond yoga, the best way to exercise your pineal gland is by meditating and using the sacred symbol like the Sri Yantra to focus your intent. Meditating on the intricate geometric work of the Sri Yantra for prolonged periods of time literally alters the shape of your brain and increases alpha brainwave activity. So when you access a deeper state of consciousness and allow your brain to enter the alpha brainwave state, you can really tap into your inner powers or your siddhis. Just as the pineal gland is considered the creation gland and the gateway to create what you want, so is the central bindu of the Sri Yantra. They say when you can see the bindu split into 3, you are in pure creation mode, meaning your pineal gland is receptive to being used to create your reality and secrete the hormones you need to make that happen.